And now we are going to have Ian Paisley. So Ian Paisley, he is an MP in Northern Ireland. He is a member of the DUP. So he's going to come up and talk about what's going on in Northern Ireland, where our SE is just coming into their country. So can we have a massive, massive round of applause for Ian Paisley, who's come all the way from Northern Ireland today. Thank you. Woo!
Thank you so much, Luciana. Ladies and gentlemen, and I can assure you there's no one else here, just ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for coming to Parliament Square. Thank you for encouraging us, for nudging those of us in that house that we're elected to do one thing, and that is to speak out for the vulnerable, to speak out for the poor, to speak out for the needy, and to speak out in this society for those who need us. So I am proud to be with you today in solidarity, speaking out for the vulnerable. Who are the most vulnerable in our society? Who are the most vulnerable? The unborn. Who are the most vulnerable? The young people, the boys and girls, the men and women of tomorrow. As parents, and I'm a proud parent of 4 lovely children, and I must say that as parents, I'm sure many of us are parents here today, we know that there are things that we want to do for our children, and that is to provide them with a good, sound, values-based beginning in their life, so as that as the men and women of tomorrow, they can help run this country, run their community, and be valued members of this society. That's our job as parents, to instill in them, to nurture them, to bring them along. Not to poison them, not to pollute them, not to break their innocence, not to do those things that some people, the minority, want us to do. Can I say to those ladies who are here today in your red t-shirts, the protectors of children's innocence, how proud I am of you. How wonderful it is to see you with those words emblazoned on you. The protectors. What a calling to be the protector of the innocents. And let's make sure that we do that. Now, ladies and gentlemen, it used to be that our education system was renowned for the 3 R's. For reading, writing, and arithmetic. Can I suggest to you that there's a much more important R that needs to be put into that equation, and it is this, that we need to have respect in our education system. First of all, we need to have respect for the innocence of children. Let kids be kids. Let our children enjoy the innocence of their life. Of learning about the beauty of life, the beauty of relationships, the beauty of what they will embark on. It is a journey for them. Let's not allow anyone to spoil it for them, to pollute them, to confuse them, to make them unnecessarily depressed about things that may never ever affect them. Let's make sure that that innocence is respected and is, as you ladies say, protected. Let's protect that innocence. Let's also respect conscience. Let's respect the conscience of parents who want to bring their children up, some in the fear, nurture, and admiration of the Lord, some who want to just bring them up to accept life for what it is. But let's respect the conscience of parents, that it is they who are ultimately responsible for their children, not that place, not a government minister, but them as parents. Let's make sure we respect and encourage government to respect the innocence and respect the conscience. And then let's respect schools to be sanctuaries to protect our children. When I left my little boy to school or my little girl to school, I knew they were going into a safe haven. That I wasn't going to have to worry about them being poisoned. Yes, they would get into scraps with other boys and girls. Yes, they might even cut their knee if they fell off a swing. My goodness. But they wouldn't be polluted by a teacher forced in some instances, or compelled in others, or a willing servant in others, to tell them things that they didn't need to know at an early age. Let's make sure that we fight for the respect of the sanctity and sanctuary of our schools, and our schools as places to protect the innocent. But most of all, ladies and gentlemen, let's respect parental rights. I am the last call on my children. I am the first call on my children. No one else. No one else. And dare help the person who stands between me and my child or my grandchild. We will not tolerate it. We will not allow it. Now, in Northern Ireland, we're currently embarking on this RSE. It's disgraceful. There's been zero consultation. A government minister decided that he would set aside devolution. He would not ask for a consultation of the public either, and he would just introduce it over the heads of the people of Northern Ireland. I believe it will end up in court, like your Welsh case. I believe it will go to court. We will learn from the great pioneering work that you have done in fighting this, and we will continue to push it until we resolve this issue. But ladies and gentlemen, I do fear for the future fabric of this society. And you have a duty, you have a responsibility, as do I, to speak out, to make sure that you're registered, to make sure that your families and friends and neighbours and people who think like you are no longer the silent majority, but are the loud, triumphant majority in this nation. And the sooner we do that, we will have control back in our hands. It's been a pleasure to be with you today. Thank you for your encouragement. Thank you for all that you do. God bless you and all that you do. Thank you.
Thank you. Amazing, really good work. Isn't it good to hear that we have got members of Parliament that are on side? Isn't it good to hear that we have got people in those buildings that are speaking out for us? They are speaking in those Parliament buildings for us. They're speaking like us. They believe in childhood innocence. They believe in the importance of the family unit. I myself, I'm a married woman. I've been married. I've just had my 17th anniversary 2 weeks ago. Thank you. And I can tell you, marriage isn't always easy. You know, it takes work. You have to work on a marriage, just like you would have to work on your career, just as you have to work on being a parent or, doing sports. You have got to work on your marriage. Far too many people now do not take marriage so seriously. And this RSE is just going to exaggerate these problems. It's not going to help these problems. It's going to make things worse.